Great fast cars to buy from just £16,000. Thought you needed supersized bank account for a supercar? Think again. You don't need ludicrous amounts of cash in the bank if you fancy a fast and handsome supercar parked on your driveway. Great used examples can be picked up for hot hatchback cash nowadays, making it a tad easier to bite the bullet and dive into your supercar dream. Even if you rent flat out everywhere, you'll still be excited and satisfied sitting in traffic in your far from average machine. Here are some cheap supercars that we think will do just the trick. Aston Martin DB7. When the DB7 was first released in 1994, it received some backlash. It had Mazda MX-5 door handles, the tail lights were pinched from a Mazda 323F, and a plethora of Ford Scorpio parts were scattered around the interior from Grandpa Fimoco. And, while it was easy for some to quickly criticize it, Aston Martin had built an utterly gorgeous car that many would lust after for years to come. The DB7 had a supercharged 3.2-liter straight-six, based on Jaguar's AJ6 power plant, which produced 335 bhp, allowing the 0 to 62 miles per hour dash to be achieved in around 5.8 seconds. Keep your foot floored, and you would quickly see 164 miles per hour while sitting in luxury. DB7s can be had from around £16,000. We recently spotted a fine example in Solent Silver with 87,000 miles on the clock for £19,500. Audi R8 4.2 V8. The Audi R8 has been with us since 2007, and it gave those who were eyeing up the Porsche 911 something a tad different to look at instead. Before Audi plopped a brawny V10 behind the front seats, the R8 started life with a 424 bhp 4.2-liter V8, which could either be tied to a questionable R-tronic gearbox or a fabulous 6-speed gated manual. And okay, most hot hatches nowadays will be more than adequate to see off an R8 from the lights, but you'll be enjoying yourself a little bit more, especially with that raucous soundtrack. Ferrari 360. It's not often that Ferrari and affordable share the same sentence. However, things are different with the 360. Its F355 predecessor was a hard act to follow, but the 360 delivered. Gone were the pop-up headlights and chiseled jaw styling of old. Instead, a more modern and rounded design was created. The channels running down either side of the vented engine cover were now replaced by a glass fastback design, showcasing the 394 bhp 3.6-liter V8 power plant beneath. Porsche 911, 997, Carrera S. When we drove the 997 Carrera S back in 2004, we said, the 997, responding perfectly to every input, doing exactly what you want, is in its element. While design cues haven't changed much over recent years for the 911, they still make for a sound investment and a well-balanced driving machine. Aston Martin DB9. Although James Bond had the more expensive DBS and not a DB9, there's nothing stopping you from living the Bond dream and buying the cheaper DB9 instead. You still get a tuneful V12 and a whopping 450 bhp to play with, and those looks are just as iconic to Britain's David Attenborough is. It arrived in 2003 as a coupe, but was later released in a convertible Volante guise, and the choice between a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed ZF transmission was available. Ferrari 348. If a Ferrari 360 is a tad out of your price range, then maybe a 348 will appease. The recipe for a supercar is apparent with the 348, a V8 engine, Ferrari badge, gated manual transmission, not to mention its sleek 90s supercar styling. When it was first released in 1989, the 348 was underappreciated, and all the performance and technology on offer didn't feel as special when sat behind the steering wheel. And when Honda launched its NSX, the 348 didn't even get a second glance from many. Lotus Esprit 2.2 Turbo SE with the twin-turbo V8 Esprit demanding as much as £57,000 plus nowadays. There are other ways into an Esprit. Enter the Esprit Turbo. Like many of the cars on our list, the Esprit Turbo is a true neck-snapper. On the outside, it had low-slung bodywork, pop-up twin headlights, chunky tires and a beefed-up spoiler added to 1989 models. Inside, things were quite different. BMW i8 wanted to make the i8 as unique as possible by providing ample aerodynamics, mixing lightweight materials, and giving it a hybrid platform. The i8 used a 228 bhp 1.5-liter three-cylinder turbo that drove the rear wheels, coupled to a 129 bhp electric motor that powered the front axle. BMW wasn't shy in their use of carbon fiber either. The result was a car that weighed just 1,485 kilograms